Hi, Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to my lecturer and also my friends. So today me and my group will present about chapter 6, which is royalty records. The members of my group is Muhammad Al-Jusufi bin Muhammad Saufi, Siti Humaira Aqua binti Muhammad Hafiz and also me, Nur Hidayah binti Nizam. So let's start. The outline for this chapter is the first one, introduction, the second one, negotiating royalties, the third one, royalties calculation, the fourth one is royalties problem, and the last one is conclusion. So what is royalties? Royalties is the usage-based payments that made by the licensee to the licensor for ongoing use of an asset. It is agreed upon as a percentage of gross revenues derived from the use of an asset or a fixed price per unit sold of an item of such. For example, the royalty payment flow from the retailer to the licensee and to the licensor, such as 10% royalty rate. Royalties have two types, which is down payment royalties and also recurrent royalties. Down payment royalties applies in the case of an exclusive license. It is a single fixed sum is due to be paid at the beginning of license period and which is independent from exploitation profit. For example, the licensor will give an amount to the licensee to be paid at the beginning of license period to avoid any unbalanced profit. The second type of royalties is recurrent royalties. It is referred to the licensee turnover for the sale of the subject license, referring to the royalty base as agreed. Royalties divided by 3, which is a piece rate, a percentage, and minimum royalties. A piece rate is a set figure per product that have been sold and manufactured. It is easy to calculate, although over time have been eroded by the inflation. An inflation adjustment provision should be included in the calculation. The second royalty base is a percentage. It is an invoice sale price of the product, the profit margin of the product, and the percentage needs to be negotiated based on the interest situation on both sides. The last royalty base is the minimum royalties. It applies in exclusive licensing agreement in the progressing steps. It is to ensure that the licensee will make the appropriate effort as regards to the commercialization. Next, I will pass this slide to the next presenter, which is Siti Humaira Aqua binti Muhammad Hafiz. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Humaira Aqua binti Muhammad Hafiz. So let's go to the steps in negotiating a royalty fee. First step is search and locate. Search and locate companies in your invention field who have an usually high number of assigned patents. Assignee is a person, company or entity who receive the transfer of property, title or rights from another according to a contract. These companies are more likely to be receptive to licensing outside inventions and pay higher royalties. Second is decide. Decide whether you want to demand a lump sum royalty or predict royalties based on sales. Third is contact a manufacturer. Contact a manufacturer to have a prototype of your invention made to prove that your invention actually works and that it can be manufactured. Fourth is ask the manufacturer. Ask the manufacturer to estimate the cost of mass production of your invention. The lower the cost of manufacture, the higher the profits for the licensee, resulting in a greater willingness to pay high royalties. Fifth, perform. Perform a competitive market analysis for your invention to show potential licensees that they can make money with the invention even if they pay high royalties. 6. Use the materials. Use the above materials to determine the amount of royalties you will demand, which is add 50 to 100% to this figure in order to give yourself room to negotiate downward and decide on the minimum royalty you are willing to accept. 7. Integrate the materials. Integrate all above materials into a well-packaged multimedia marketing presentation. The presentation should be long on numbers, short on excitement, and convincing. 8. Deliver the presentation. Deliver your presentation to interested companies and use your research to negotiate higher royalties. There is two factors in determining the royalty base. First is industry norms. Industry norms, or known as financial statements, are used when comparing a company's performance to competitors in the same industry. Second is projected profits. It refers to the estimated money a company will generate during a specific period. It is often referred to monthly, quarterly, or annual accounting periods. If possible, avoid profit as a royalty base because profit figures can be manipulated by skillful accounting. It is much harder to manipulate the sale price. Second, once the royalty base is determined, the licensor must negotiate the royalty rate. When defining a royalty rate, consult an accountant, as accountants will calculate the royalty payments and conduct audits on behalf of the licensor. So I will pass the presentation to Auji Sophie. So thank you.
Okay, next we will go to the factors that determining royalty rates. Royalty rates is a financial figures that impact others' financial figures that are related to the given deal. Means that a royalty rates is happen between the licensor and the licensee when they are making a deal about the payment, about the IP, and so on. It also include how many the royalty that can give from the licensor to the licensee. Okay, there are 11 factors that determining royalty rates. The first one is licensee competencies resulting in low cost of sales relative to competition. These factors is more focused on the competition between the licensee when they want to make a deal or they want to having a royalty rates from the licensor. The cost of sales from all the licensee store might affect or might determine the royalty rates that are given from the licensor. The second one is the strength of licensing protection. It means that the royalty rates will be determined by how much protection that the licensee can give to the licensor products. The next one is the availability of viable substitute. Means that when the product substitutes are available, it will change the royalty rates. The fourth one is territorial extent of rights. Means that the licensor will give the royalty rates to the licensee based on the licensee's area or their territory only. For example, as a Malaysia, we will not export our product to the Israel. The fifth one is the other reward or compensation element. Means that what are the rewards or the compensation that the licensee can give to the licensor in order to the licensor change their royalty rates. The sixth one is the exclusivity of rights. It means that what are the exclusive right that the licensee can give to the product of the licensor in order the licensor can determine the royalty rates. The seventh one is the level of innovation, where the royalty rates will be determined by the level of the innovation of the product. Okay, the next one is the degree of competition in the relevant market. Basically, there are 4 types of degree of competition, which is perfect competition, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, and monopoly. So these 4 types of competition will affect determining in royalty rates between the licensor and the licensee. The 9 factors is the stage of development. As the licensor, they will observe first on the licensee stage of development in order to give their royalty rates to them. The next one is what are the strategic needs that the licensee can give to the licensor products in order to determine the price or the percentage of the royalty rates. And the last one is royalty staking. Royalty staking is referred to the situation where a licensee must pay the royalty to multiple parties in order to commercialize their product. Means that the licensor and the licensee must discuss again on how much the royalty rates will be given because of the multiple parties. So for the next slide, we will go to the royalties problem. As you can see in the slide, there are some problems that occur by the individuals and the companies. In individual, they might getting unclear understanding of royalty issues and laws. IP owners, their families and future generation may lose substantial sums over the life of contract due to the complexity at issue at hand. Means that the person or the IP owner, if they did not understand very well or did not manage very well about the royalty, there will occur a problem in the future. For example, if the owner of the royalty did not specialize in the accounting method, it will occur problems on the payment between the licensor and the licensee. The second one is under companies where they are having multiple royalty obligations. These problems are related to a product identifier using an exclusive research tool and requiring the use of several different patent technologies. For example, a sport equipment that will be identified or will be tested with one or more exclusive research tool that have been licensed by different companies. And the last problem that the company are having is problem of keeping licensing agreement. For example, a company or a large organization, basically they always getting problem in tracking and reviewing the individual licensing agreements. For the case study, this article is talk about the royalty payout by year end. Basically, this article is talk about the distribution of royalty payment to singers and musicians who have been affected following of the dissolution of Music Right Malaysia by July 10, that will be done later than this December. So the case study is related with the topic of the project profit. Basically, project profit refers to the estimate money a company will generate during a specific period. The projection often refer to monthly, quarterly or annual accounting period. Companies project revenue using a combination of research and internal knowledge. So, in conclusion, if we are doing a license agreement, we need to define or we need to state the information clearly in order to the licensor or the licensee getting paid or to be paid the royalty. It is important for both parties, which is the licensor and the licensee, to understand very well about this royalty, about this license agreement. It is because we need to reduce or we need to avoid the problems that may occur in the future. So, in order to avoid the problem happen, we need to study or we need to understand very well about this royalties record.